This video is lash lift, and we are going to start the video as if we just arrived to work. So the first thing we always do when we get to work is we wash our hands. So we're going to wet our hands at the sink, and we're going to find the liquid hand soap, get a coin size, and we're going to wash our hands down to our wrists. We're going to wash the back of our hands down to our wrists. We're going to wash our fingers, and we are going to wash the backs of our fingers. We are going to wash between our fingers and our thumbs. We're going to wash the nails and the fingertips. We're going to wash the thumbs. We are going to wash the wrists. We're going to do all of that interlocking for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. And then we're going to rinse them thoroughly. When we feel like we've done a proper rinse, we're going to get either a clean towel or some disposable paper towels. We're going to turn off the faucet and completely dry our hands. If it's paper towels, they go in the trash. If it is a clean towel, it's now dirty, and it would go in a closed container until time for laundry. And then you're going to find your hand sanitizer that is 70% ethyl alcohol, and you are going to wash those hands thoroughly with the hand sanitizer. So we have to prepare our room and our station for our client who's coming in for a lash lift. You want to do as much setup as you can before the client comes because it saves so much time. So you are going to go over we're going to review with you right now what we're going to do to set up before our client arrives. So we are going to disinfect our workstation, bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe, following the manufacturer's instructions. We will check equipment to ensure all devices are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. We'll dispense products needed for the service, and we're going to prepare disposable portion cups for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup tray. Or we can remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula, close the lid to the product, and set the portion cup tray on the tray. We will drape our facial bed using one fitted sheet, one flat sheet, and 3 towels. We'll place clean laundered sheets down on the disinfected facial bed, placing a towel horizontally at the head of the bed. We'll lay a hairnet and a headband on top of the first towel, along with a rolled towel to support the head and neck of the client. We will save the third towel to lay across the client décolleté, and we also have the option to use disposable table paper if we have that. So let's just review what I've got on my tray here before we start the service and our client consultation. So my tray's ready. And what I have some cotton rounds. I have some 2x2s, some 4x4s. I have some wooden sticked Q-tips. I've got disposable gloves, a couple pair. I have some makeup remover, some water, some barrier cream, like something like Vaseline to put under her eye pads. I've got my lifting liquid solution, and I've got my setting lotion. So my lifting lotion and my setting lotion. I've got implements that I'm going to apply the lifting lotion and the setting lotion with. I've got my rods for the lift and my tool that will help me do that, as well as some glue that's going to help the lashes adhere to the rods. I have disposable mascara wands, a couple types of those, and I have my disposable under eye pads. So I've got everything ready for her lash lift, but I need to meet with her when she arrives to find out if she can even have the service. So what we're going to talk about is your client consultation. And when you approach the client, you always approach the client with clean hands. You know that I've washed my hands before I prepared the room. And just so you know, I would be approaching my client with clean hands as well. But what I'm going to do is wash them again before I start the service. So I'm going to just know that they're perfectly clean for my client consultation, which I'm getting ready to do right now. So let's talk about what you do when you meet with your client. So you're going to greet your client and escort your client to the work area. You will assess the client's current style and determine the client's preferences. You will assess the client's needs, and you're going to assess the client's skin by performing a skin analysis to ensure that there is no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, infection or infestation, for example, lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. We will assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours. We will consult on any known allergies. We will consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months and if the client is under a physician's care. We will assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. We will assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. If the client is free from any of those contraindications, we can proceed with the service. So my client is just fine. So what we're going to do is get her comfortable and ready, and then I'm going to wash my hands again and start the service. So she doesn't have to disrobe for this service. We're just going to get her on the facial bed, and she's got a nice little, she's gotten under the sheet, and I've got the towel on the top here. I've got a rolled towel here that I'm going to place underneath her head and neck to give her extra support. I've got a hairnet to keep the hair out of her face away from her lashes. And then I have an additional towel here. And I'm going to totally cover up because I don't want anything to get on her clothing, on her neck or skin or anything like that. So she's good to go. And if you notice, I'm not sure if you can see here, she also has, I put a tiny bit of double-sided tape on her lid. I'm going to be doing that for a client. It's to hopefully help these rods adhere for us to be able to show you what we're doing here with the lash lift. So it's time for me to wash my hands so that I can glove up and get started on her service. So I'm going to go to the sink and wash my hands again. I'm going to wet my hands and then get that coin-sized liquid hand soap, coin-size amount. We're going to wash our hands down to our wrist, and we're going to wash the back of our hands down to our wrists. We're going to wash our fingers, and we're going to wash the back of our fingers. We're going to wash our fingertips and our nails. We're going to wash between the fingers. We're going to wash between the fingers and the thumbs. We're going to wash those thumbs, and we're going to wash our wrist. All of this for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. And then when you get that good, proper rinse going here under the sink, you can either get some disposable paper towels, turn off the sink, and dry your hands with those paper towels and toss them, or you can get a towel, turn it off, dry your hands, put it in a closed container for laundry. And then you're going to get your hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and you're going to sanitize. And remember to get those hands good and dry because you're getting ready to put your gloves on, and you want to make sure if your gloves are on that when you're putting your gloves on that your hands are dry, or it makes it like super duper difficult to put on gloves. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to get another set of gloves that are smalls, not mediums, that I have right here. I've got another set of gloves. I've got a box of gloves actually, but these are maybe going to be a little tighter than the ones I wore last time, which might help me with the service a little bit better. So got my gloves on. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to remove any makeup that she might have on. So we are going to get some cotton rounds with some eye makeup remover. And if she has any makeup on, this is when you want to take it off. Now, you also have to tell her, you should be telling them, which we do, before the service. She knows that she cannot be wearing any makeup for the next 48 hours. Or whatever the manufacturer's directions say for the particular lifting line that you are using. So I am just saying, for sake of this video, that she cannot get her eyelashes wet or put any makeup on them for the next 48 hours. So let's go ahead and take off any makeup that she might have on. Eye cream, moisturizer, anything like that. And then I'm just going to dry because I just want everything to be nice and dry. My client. And so I'm going to place a little bit of that barrier cream underneath her eye so that I can place the iPads on, and it really helps the iPads stay in place for me. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And then I'm going to apply. I'm going to make sure that I'm covering up the lower lashes, just lifting the top lashes. So I'm going to cover up, go all the way up to the, I'm covering up the whole lower lash line. So I'm just taking my time to make sure that everything is good to go with that. And then I am going to attempt to put the rods on either side of the eye, hoping that they will stick a little bit to that double-sided tape, and then, which it may not because it's been wet already. And then we will apply the lash glue to the lashes, and that should also help the rod stay down. It may be that we have to depend on that lash glue in the lashes in order for the rod to stay down. But normally when you'd put a little glue and then the rod, and you would hold it for 5 to 10 seconds, and it would stay on the client's eye. You would start with that. So what we're going to do here with this is I'm just going to start with some lash glue, and I'm just going to continue that press and see if that won't help it stay. And so I'm going to get my tool nearby here, and I'm going to apply a little bit of this lash glue to the both the lashes and the rod, and see if that won't help my rod stay down closer to her eyelid, because the little lashes will be stuck to it. And I'm going to come back and look at it, but this is where you want to take a moment to make sure that all of your lashes, and also when we put on our lash lift solution, are facing the right direction. Everything is looking the way you want it to be. Make sure they're lined up correctly, that you don't have any clumps, etc. Because this is how, when we put our lash lift solution on, this is how it's going to stay. And then I'm just going to go to the other eye, and I'm going to come back. Of course, I'm going to come back and double, triple check and make sure that it's exactly how I want it to be on both sides. So the only problem I'm having is figuring out how to get the rod to adhere to my mannequin, and I'm not going to put any more nail glue on her because it's already clumped up all over her. So I'm just going to be mocking it like this. So if it pops up, sorry guys, just know that I know what I'm doing. And I'll continue to search for some kind of solution in the meantime. this is just, it just takes time. So it's just a little bit of step by step by step by step. But I got it on there, and I'm just now just being a little bit precise about how I want the lashes to lay. Although this glue is not my friend. Kind of chunky and clunky and not even remotely what I used at school. So I'm going to move forward, and I'm not going to sit here and be obsessive about it, which I would normally be. Just getting things glued down now, and then I'm going to put the lifting lotion on. I just want to make sure these lashes are on really good to the rod. So my lashes are on the rod, and basically what you will be doing at this point is you will be applying your lash lifting lotion. So I'm going to be using a brush to do that. And I am going to apply it, and I'm going to try to get as close to the root of the lash as possible. And I'm going to be going 3/4 of the way up. So I do not want to get all the way up to the edge of the lashes. I want to be about 3/4 of the way up, because that's where the lashes are weakest. That's where they will start to shed. That'll be the next place they shed. So you want to avoid that, because it would be a little harsh on the end of the lash. And then I'm going to do the other side. So I'm just once again applying that lifting lotion to the root, and then 3/4 of the way up the lash, but I'm not going to that edge. And then I'm going to take some cotton rounds here. I'm just going to give her a little coverage. And you would let that lifting lotion, always following manufacturer's directions, stay on. For our purposes, we're gonna say that that is gonna be anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Some people's lashes can process really quickly. Some people's can take a little bit longer, so you're just mindful of that. We're obviously not gonna be doing that we're not going to be doing that for the sake of the video. We're not going to be sitting here for that whole time. So I just want you to know that I'm going to pretend like that 5 to 10 minutes has elapsed based on manufacturer's instructions. And so I will take that towel off, and I'm going to take these off, and it's going to be time now to remove the lash lifting lotion. So I'm going to start dry, and I'm going to kind of go up and away to remove it, and then I'm going to do it damp as well. So one thing to know, you might have to do this, 2 or 3 times, whatever you need to do to remove it. So once again, we're going to go dry, and then we're going to go in and we're going to go damp. And I'm just being really gentle. I'm doing it damp. And then I'm going to do another dry. But whatever you look, you pay attention, you'll know what to do. Just be gentle. But you may have to do as many as 3 times. I mean, it just depends on how much stuff. And now it's time to apply, and I'm gonna use another brush, the setting lotion. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. We did our lift, now we're gonna do our set. Once again, we're gonna give her some coverage. And your setting lotion, following manufacturer's directions, of course, 5 minutes, depending on what they say for you to do, always. So because once again we're doing a video, we're not going to be waiting that time frame, so we're just going to remove the towel and the cotton rounds, assuming that the 5 minutes has passed. And now we're going to remove this. So we're going to be doing our dry and then our wet, and keeping in mind that this may also take as many as 3 passes, depending on what you just want to be gentle. We always avoid getting it anywhere we're not supposed to. So I'm just doing that gentle upward sweep. It's just right on the rod. So it's real easy. It's not on the skin. It's not in the eyes. And I'm going to do the other side. Dry. And then damp. And then we are going to take those really gentle wooden sticked Q-tips with some water, and we're going to try to get these lashes to slowly start to remove from the rod, which they seem to be doing with our damp cloth. So this should not be too hard to do. Let's start on this side here and get some wet. And I'm just going to try to gently remove the lashes from the rod with some water. Which is definitely working. So I'm going to remove the rod and the iPad underneath the eye. The iPad, of course, is disposable, and then I'm going to use a damp to just help with that. Underneath, gentle, little gentle wipe on the lash. And I have to say, once again, that I am incredibly disappointed with this glue that I'm using. I'm gonna have to tell you the brand because it is awful. And it is just literally clumped in her lashes. And I don't know if it's the cholesterol adhering to the glue. I really feel like it's the glue. Ugh. All right, I'll work on that in a minute. Let me get the other side off. So disappointed. Never really seen anything like it. Yuck. I'm sure you probably can't see it on here, but it's just like coming out all over her. All right, so wooden tipped Q-tip with some water. This one seems to be almost all separated, which is great. It's coming off the rod. Once again, the glue though is all through the lash. And maybe it's the amount of glue that I need to adhere it to the rod. I don't know. I'll place the rod over here and slide that disposable iPad out of the way. That will be going into the trash, and then I'm going to get a nice little wet, gentle. And then I'm just going to get some disposable mascara wands because I don't think there's any other way to get it out other than comb it out. Moral of the story, use amazing products to perform services so you don't get stuck fixing stuff like this. Because even if you save money on the product, you will be not saving time, so you'll be spending more money because you're going to lose time. So your profit's going to go down the drain anyway. So you do not want, nor do you want an unhappy customer. So make sure you use products you believe in and that you love and that work really well, because it makes all the difference in the world. There's glue all over her lashes. And we used cholesterol. We didn't even use like a lash lift or, you know. I have to say too that lash lifts are currently one of my favorite services for clients to have done, because as a makeup artist, they really make my work even more amazing. Not a fan of strip lashes, and I do like false lashes lash extensions when done subtly. I like that look too. I think it can really be an enhancement to a person. I think people can go overboard, of course, but lash lift is your own lash, and it just looks amazing. And so this is a total bummer for me, because I want a great video, because I love this service. So this is by no don't take this as an indicator of the service. I love it and I want to perform it. I think this is such a benefit to clients. It's such a great service. It makes people look so pretty and awake. But this particular glue is not it. Okay, so you have finished your lash lift, and actually she loves it. So that's great. You just didn't even let her know. You took time to get that glue out, and oh my gosh, everything looks amazing. So what happens at the end of the service? Let me make sure she's nice and dry, because she really does look great. And she's happy, and that's all that matters. So I'm just going to get anything off of her that might be on her. And you will be able to now remove your gloves, because you just had those on because you had to have them on for the service. So we are going to take a moment here to remove our gloves. And of course they are disposable, so you'll want to toss them. And then you will help your client. So let's just get that done. Okay, so what we're going to do is, our client, thankfully, is she didn't disrobe for this service, so you can just take her things off, and you can get her to where you close out, and we're going to discuss what you're going to do. So you go over your client follow-up, make sure that she knows what she cannot do or should not do around the eyes or on the lashes for the next 48 hours. And then you may want to recommend when she rebooks, get her booked for the next service, and get her closed out. You've already gone over all that maintenance and aftercare. And then you need to go back and get your room ready for your next client. So you will go back in there and discard any of those single-use items, like your wooden stick Q-tips that you use, disposable mascara wands, etc. You're going to go ahead and clean all that out. You will get those implements that you use, like your tools and your brushes, and you're going to place them in closed container, labeled to be disinfected. All of your sheets and your towels and your bedding, you're going to put that in a closed container until it's time for laundry. And then you need to get your work area cleaned up and disinfected so you can set up for your next client. So you want to identify proper cleansing agent and read the manufacturer's directions. Follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and usage, and wipe down your workstation and area with that cleaning solution to remove any debris. You're going to identify a disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, fungicidal, and EPA approved for use in a salon setting. You will need disposable gloves for that, so go ahead and put on a new pair, and follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. You will disinfect electrical equipment, store it in a clean area separate from other implements, then remove your gloves and throw them away. And then it's time to wash your hands. So you go to the sink, wet your hands, and get that liquid hand soap, and you're going to wash your hands together down to your wrist, and you're going to wash the back of your hands down to your wrist. You're going to wash your fingers, and you're going to wash the backs of your fingers. You're going to wash between your fingers and between your fingers and your thumbs. You're going to wash your fingertips and your nails. You're going to wash your thumbs. You're going to wash your wrist. You're going to do all of that good and proper wash for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Then you're going to thoroughly rinse everything under the water. get some disposable paper towels or a clean towel, turn the faucet off, dry your hands completely, throw that stuff in the trash or into the dirty laundry with a closed container, and then get your hand sanitizer so that you can finish your end of that disinfection process, 70% ethyl alcohol, and then you're going to sanitize your hands. So once you get all of that done and complete, you will then be able to move forward and get set up for your next client. So that concludes your video for Lash Lift.